Let's carry on with our Python project Who Wants to Be a Millionaire game. Now we've probably seen the if statement before. Can you remember we used the word if? We've got something that checks to see if it equals, or it's called a condition. Is it true or false? So if the answer equals A, we use two equals, print correct. So if answer does equal A, it will do the print correct, and if it doesn't, it won't print anything. In our project, we will need if statements to check to see if things are true. Now, here's an example. We've got player equals A. So let's assume someone's given an answer from A, B, C, D just as A. So you want to check that A is correct. So has the player correctly said A? So we can use the if statement to say if player equals A, then print correct. If we run that, it will print correct. Now there are more if statements than just using if. We also have else. What happens if it's wrong? What happens if we want to print something when it's not the correct answer? What we do there, we can use an if else statement. So here we've got the same if statement, but if the answer is not equal to A, so if this is wrong, this is false, then we do this else part. We use the word else, E-L-S-E, the colon, the same, the gap, the same, and then our code underneath. So that's the if else statement. So if it's true or if it's false. So we're going to write else, and then instead of having correct, the opposite of correct is incorrect. Or let's say, sorry, A is, well, it won't be A, but let's say your answer is wrong, A is correct. Okay, so for a question, the correct answer, the user needs to put in A. What happens if they put in B? So it's the wrong answer. When we run this, you can say, sorry, your answer is wrong, A is correct. So we have, if this is true, we do this part. If it's not true, then we do this part. So true or false, on or off, whatever your condition is here, if this is true, do this part. If it's not true, do this part. So if we say A, we will get correct. And if we say something different from A, it will be incorrect. Now what about if we had loads of different choices, like a multiple choice questionnaire or something like that? Could we use anything like that? Well, there's an if else statement. So here's our example of positive and negative numbers. We've got if the number is 0, print this is 0. If it's greater than 0, it's going to be a positive number. So this one, if it's true, it does the first thing. If this is not true, then we check the second thing. And if this is not true, then it goes to the last thing, which is an else. So if a number is not 0 and it's not greater than 0, it must be a negative number. So that's the if else statement. Okay, we can only have one if, and we can only have one else. The if's at the beginning, else is at the end. Don't have to have the else, but if it's there, it's at the end. Okay, let's have a look at the code using elif. So we can see here we've got the code, we've commented it out. So let's get rid of the comments. So we've got a number. Let's start off with -2. We're going to check to see if it equals 0. We're going to check to see if it's greater than 0. And if it's not greater than 0 or equal to 0, it's going to be a negative number. When we run this, you can see this is a negative number. If we test it with just 2, this is a positive number, and 0, as you can see, this is 0. So we can tell if another if statement, but it's called elif, so it's not the first one. We can write as many as them as we like, and if we use an else, so if you're going to have an else, it has to be at the end, okay? But the elif, we can have more than one. So let's have a look at an example. So here we're looking to see if the choice, perhaps from the user entering A, B, C or D, we can say, is it A? If it's not A, is it B? If it's not A or B, is it C? And if it's not A, B or C, is it D? What happens if they've entered something incorrect, like E? Well, it's not A or B or C or D. So then we could say, oh, wait a second, you need to enter A, B, C or D. So here we have an if, elif, 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 else. So it might seem a little bit confusing at the start, but remember, if at the beginning, we can use if else for true and false. But if we want to check more things, we can put these elifs in between. Okay, let's look at the final code that use elif more than once. So here we've got a choice. Let's say it's our answer. And we've got C. Okay, we've got if statement, if it's A, elif if it's B, elif if it's C, elif if it's D. And if it's not A, B, C or D, then it's wrong. We wanted an entry of A, B, C or D. So if you like, we have an error message. So we can use else to see if there's a problem. Let's run this. You have chosen C. Let's try A. You've chosen A. And what happens if we, let's say, accidentally put something in that's wrong? You can say, you need to enter A, B, C or D. So here we've got if, we've got else, and you can see we can use as many elifs as we like. Don't have to have an else, but if we do, it's the final statement. Have to have an if statement, and if we want more if statements, if you like, we can use elif. So if you need to look at that code, we'll put it on the website, and our next stage in our project will come up in the next video. See you soon.